everyone, I'm Kelly Lancaster.
And I'm Monica Rizzi.
Just to start off, just to let you know how to communicate with us, you can email us and you'll see that our emails are listed there. If you have any questions or concerns about your son or daughter or anything like that, we'll try to get back to you as quickly as we can.
In reference to Zoom, we will be using Zoom regularly. Students are required to come onto Zoom on A1, B1, C1, and D1 days. On the alternate days on A2, B2, C2, and D2 days, they don't have to necessarily join, but we do encourage them to come on just to get their instructions for the day and what their assignment is. If they do come into Zoom on those alternate days that they don't need to be on Zoom, we encourage them to come at the beginning of class. That way they're not coming into Zoom in the middle of class when all the lessons and instructions were already given. So that is a requirement for Zoom. And then we encourage students to come by our office hours on Zoom from 1:17 to 3:02 daily. We highly encourage this because if students have any questions or they just want one-on-one assistance, this is a great opportunity or time for them to come onto Zoom and get extra help.
So the readings that we will be doing this year are Romeo and Juliet, The Diary of Mayan, A Raisin in the Sun, Lord of the Flies, and The Red Scarf Girl. So most of the reading, if not all, will be done at home. And then we will come in to class and we'll analyze the text together in class. So that we have there, the time management is really, really important. So we were saying to some of the kids, even we were telling them the past week or so, set a timer and you do your homework for X amount of minutes and it gets them a little bit more structured like that. For the most part, they have the books at home already. We send home majority of the books, if not all. And then if for any reason they don't have the book, most times there's an online version of it as well that we'll have on Google Classroom for them or in our Learning Commons at the high school.
In terms of writing, your child can expect to write in many different styles. We will be using a writing text called the Norton Sampler, and we should probably write around 20 essays. And it'll be done in a workshop style. So in these workshops, students will peer edit with one another. They'll receive feedback from their peers and also look over their work and talk about their work with us, and we'll give them feedback as well for editing.
And the same thing with grammar is that we will go over that with them in their writing and we'll point out things in the readings that they're seeing in relation to grammar. They'll also be working with little apps that's like IXL Learner, which some of them have done last year for math, and we'll also use that for English. And we're also using Quill. So those are apps that we have that we're able to even see the progress of the children, anything that we might have to add or adjust our lessons accordingly.
Okay, so for vocabulary, we don't necessarily have a vocab text or any type of book, but throughout our readings that we do, we will give vocabulary assignments or vocabulary words to them, and they'll also be using vocabulary.com, another website similar to IXL and Quill, where we can track their progress as they're completing their work.
And most of what we're looking and focusing on is that the PARC, which is now called the NJSLAELA, is what we'll be going over for like test taking strategies so that they're prepared for that as it is a graduation requirement.
So the grading is a little bit different this year. Last year and prior years, students took benchmarks every quarter, which was worked into their grades, but we took those out for this year. So grading is as follows. Homework is 15%, quizzes are 15%, class participation, this includes classwork as well as them showing up to Zoom, being on time for Zoom, which is 20%. Tests and projects are 25%, and writing assignments are also 25%.
And then just with the virtual learning etiquette, and we went over this with the kids as well, it's just that for some of us, it's a little difficult to remember that if you're in the classroom or you're home, you're still in the classroom. So we were just reminding kids that that they're being videoed and audioed, and we could hear in the same way they could hear on our end, we could hear on their end as well. So just to make sure that they're aware of that and that they're ready to go and that they are on Zoom at the time that they're supposed to be on. and that they are acting the behavior that they would be acting as if they were in the classroom itself.
So some expectations for remote learning. We're expecting that they won't alter any videos that we use or copy any of that or redistribute it to anyone. We hope that all of the students will follow all these expectations in order to have a positive environment and a successful environment as well. If any problems occur during a Zoom session, we are able to remove them from that, and any disciplinary action can be taken for misbehaving on Zoom.
And just a little bit of repeating what we had said, just that they're on time, so it's not a distraction to the class that when they are in fact here, so they are on time and they were supposed to be. We've learned that for some of them, they just pick a little spot to be virtual for the day, and that's kind of helped them out a little bit, like it's a little quieter for them, and they're not around as much distractions, and that they've said has helped them. Also, just same thing, be respectful, because whatever they're saying, you can hear and see as well, and sharing with the class, and then just like to make light of it, to dress appropriately. So we were telling the kids that if the way their mindset is based on the way they're dressed, that'll help them. So that is if they are dressed as if they are in school. So it will also help them be in that mindset of I'm doing my schoolwork, and they're dressed as if they are in the building.
Okay, so as soon as students enter Zoom, they should be on mute unless they have something to ask, or we might unmute them to ask them a question, but they must keep their camera on throughout the entire Zoom session. So we do have students who tend to put their cameras off and we can't see them. However, we need to see them on their camera. We need to be able to hear them, so they must put their cameras on as soon as they come into Zoom so that we can mark them present. We want them to limit as much movement as possible, or we don't want them to really be focusing on any distractions. So we encourage them to sit in a quiet area or a quiet space where they can focus on their work and will be free of distractions. And we also want them to be mindful of who's in the background and what kind of background it is. So they should be in a very quiet environment so they can focus.
And we also recommended a headset would help a little bit to ease with the distraction and things of that sort. And then again, just that whatever's there is on public record, and it could be archived if need be. But I don't think we'll really have many issues with that at all.
Okay, so we have our emails listed here. If you have any questions whatsoever, whatever questions may come up, or any concerns of that matter, please feel free to contact both of us. We'd be so happy to assist any of you, and we're really looking forward to this year in working with your child. Thank you.